My name is Brian Crandall, and I'm an applications consultant for Syncade Logistics at Emerson Process Management. As we all know, a major challenge facing terminal managers is minimizing product integrity issues. For example, if a product is contaminated, it is important to know the affected product as soon as possible so it can be isolated or reworked. The purpose of this video is to describe how Syncade Logistics minimizes product integrity surprises at the terminal. First, Syncade Logistics reduces inventory variance and allows the terminal manager to detect them early on in the process. Here are some features that make that possible.
In order to provide a general overview of the capabilities of this product, I will be showing features specific to the truck and marine modalities. However, each feature that I show you also applies to the other modalities as well: rail cars, tanks, and pipelines. The first feature is inventory management. So let's take this example of a marine terminal with jetties shown here and the tank farm shown down here in the bottom left. We have just executed a movement from this jetty onto the shore, through the pump station, through the manifolds, down to tank T201. So now that we've completed the movement, I will go over to Syncade Logistics and open the screen, the main user interface, and then I will click on the inventory management piece of Syncade, and you can see here that I have a movement that executed that is ready for inventory accounting. That is shown here in this row. So if I double click this item, it will bring up the inventory information for that movement. So at the top of the inventory input window is the order line, the state of the order line, the customer, the times when it started, ended, and when it's ready for accounting, the declaration type for the custody transfer. Notice that this movement used the tank gauging system, so levels in the tanks to do the custody transfer. But from this drop down, you can also see that you can also do mass flow meter or a manual entry custody transfer. The window ends with the total book segments plus tank, which is very useful when wanting to resolve any discrepancies between the inventory physical and the book amount. This brings me to the next feature of Syncade Logistics, which is line segment allocation. You can already see here that we give a running total of the amount of product that was in the lines, but Syncade Logistics also provides a way to see the amount of material in each individual line segment. So to see that, we go to the top of this window and we click on the button labeled Used Segments. And here is an overview of all the segments used in the movement, with a segment name here, the capacity of each segment, the owner, in this case tank T201, since that's where we transfer the material to. You can also see the previous owner and the material that was transferred. And then there's additional information about each line segment as well, such as the previous material, the slack percentages used in the case where the pipe is not completely filled, and you can enter that information in as a percentage, and then also the previous order lines are shown as well. So complete transparency not only to the inventory that's in the tank, but the inventory that fills each segment in your terminal. Now that we've seen how the inventory numbers are captured from the tank and the lines, let's look at how stock is reconciled inside the Syncade Logistics product. To do this, I will switch over to our truck and rail car application. So if I open up the screen, as you can see here, and then click on the tanks, and then click on our single tank that we have for this demo, it brings up all the information about the tank, its current balance, the values that it's generating from the field, whether they are manual, from gauges, or calculated, and then the physical attributes of the tank shown at the bottom. If I go back up to the top and click on the Account tab, you can see that all the transactions are shown here for the history of the tank. But as this applies to reducing product integrity surprises, it is very important to know if your actual book stock does not match your physical stock. So Syncade Logistics provides a lot of insight into your process to make sure that these types of surprises don't happen. And to do that, we can generate an event that will alert the terminal manager if the stock is incorrect or if there's a discrepancy. So to do this, you could go to the Admin menu tab, click on the System Config, and click on the Events Config node. And if I scroll down here, if I go to the System Type ID System, you can see that I have an event here where the messages book and actual stock is mismatched. By clicking the Send Email checkbox, this event will automatically generate an email when this event occurs, and we can notify the person responsible who investigates these types of issues. So in this case, let me type in Terminal Manager. So Syncade Logistics has this infrastructure in place to be able to notify the plant terminal personnel of any discrepancy in the inventory and help reduce those product integrity surprises. Events and notifications are very valuable in providing insight into stock reconciliation discrepancies. However, there's a whole variety of information that is useful to the terminal manager and his or her team, and Syncade Logistics provides access to this information via its reporting feature. To demonstrate this, I will minimize this main window here, and I will bring up an Internet Explorer window that generated a report based upon the database information in Syncade Logistics. So in this report here, you can see I did a simple inventory projection for our single tank that we use in this demonstration. And you can see that this tank had a drop-off of inventory at this particular date. And this might alert the terminal manager that there's something going on with this inventory or some corrective action needs to take place. This graphical information can also be combined with tabular information. Shown here, I'm showing all the loads that were done. So reports coupled with inventory management, line segment allocation, and stock reconciliation provide the terminal manager an ability to detect and resolve product integrity issues quickly and efficiently.
The second way that Syncade Logistics minimizes product integrity surprises is because it actually reduces the contamination events that occur in the facility. Here are some features that make that possible.
The first is conflict resolution. So by going to Syncade Logistics' Marine Movements Overview screen, you can see I have the schedule here, and you'll notice these little exclamation point notification icons. And what they're indicating is that there's a conflict of equipment. And if you mouse over the conflict, you can see the conflicts listed in the help window. But you can also go to the actual order line itself, and on the conflicts tab, you can see all the equipment and the list of equipment that is in conflict and the order lines that are causing the conflict, so it can be reconciled and dealt with to prevent product integrity issues. The next feature is control system integration. Syncade Logistics can be tightly integrated with a process control system, whether that's a DCS or a simple batch controller preset. In this example, I will show you how our marine movements module can be tightly integrated with Emerson's Delta V process control system. To do that, I will open the marine movement screen. The window that comes up here is the order Gantt schedule. I have an order ready to be executed, as indicated by this green color and this orange color here for the movement. So if I double click on the movement order line here, it'll bring me to this window, and I can click on claiming unit to begin the execution process. So I will click on that. And the next step will be for me to move over to the Delta V control system, and we will see the order begin to be executed. So here I've pulled up my Delta V screen, and I can launch the Movements Overview window by clicking on this button. And I will see a list of movements that are ready to execute in the process control system. And if I click on that movement, it will bring up all the details about the movement to alert the operator of all the operations that need to occur to do the movement. You can see there's messages down in the bottom right-hand corner. And the operator can step through these operations and indicate to Syncade Logistics how the movement is proceeding. So if there's a problem down at the process level, that information will get populated back up to Syncade Logistics.
Lastly, Syncade Logistics ensures that orders meet their proper specifications. Here are some features that make that possible.
The first is order management and enterprise resource planning integration. Syncade Logistics provides an effective means to transfer data between the business level enterprise resource planning, or ERP, system to the field operational layer. To demonstrate this, I will show how easy it is to transfer the data between the ERP and Syncade Logistics. To do that, it's something as simple as copying and pasting a file. So the folder at the left is our ERP system, and the folder at the right is Syncade Logistics. I will drag and drop the file. You will see that the file disappears on the right-hand side because it has been consumed by Syncade Logistics. If I reopen our order management screen and refresh, you will see that a new order has appeared here under the expected label. If I click on the order Gantt chart and reset the filter so you can see all of the orders that are existing in the system, it pulls everything in, and you'll see this order exists here for this movement. And all the instructions to execute that movement are contained in the order as prescribed by the business level ERP system, thus ensuring that the specifications are met properly. The last feature is write first-time procedures. Syncade Logistics allows the user to define a workflow, and it is enforced to ensure that the users of the system follow the procedures properly. In this example, I will use our truck and rail car module, and you can see the first step for the driver is to be greeted by a terminal interface telling them to enter their driver number. Once they enter the driver number properly, they are granted access into the facility. Clicking on the overview screen, the driver's progress is tracked, and they can proceed to the bay to do their loading or unloading operation. Once their operation is complete, they can go to the exit gate, print their bill of lading, or any other type of operational procedure that needs to be followed. During this time, all the driver's activities are followed and tracked and audited. So from the terminal access window, we can open the queue overview screen, and you can see this driver has a status of leaving. So if there's any procedural issue that isn't being followed properly, the terminal manager or staff can be notified. This helps to ensure that all orders and all procedures are being followed properly.
As you've seen, Syncade Logistics is an effective application for reducing product integrity surprises, a critical need for terminal managers. For more information, please go to the website shown here. Thank you very much for watching.